Okay, cool guys. So we all know that the ruling party, the African National Congress, traveled to Zimbabwe to go basically meet with ZANU-PF, which is the ruling party of Zimbabwe as well, and basically try and understand what's been happening in Zimbabwe. So there's been a lot of complaints of journalists being silenced and being censored in Zimbabwe, being sent to prison, and all sorts of very scary human rights violations. So of course, what happened is the ANC then sent a delegation. I'll say the ANC because it was mainly ANC representative, but I think honestly, if we are fair, it was a delegation that's going to represent the state. Basically, South Africa has been labeled, as basically, the president of Africa for some odd reason. I don't know why we've been that way. So when things are happening like what's happening in Zimbabwe, human rights violations, people will always look and say, well, what is South Africa saying? What is the ANC saying? ANC being the ruling party. So of course, people have come out and basically made all sorts of allegations and said there was an abuse of state resources for the fact that they flew through to Zimbabwe on a South African Defence Force aircraft. So I wanna address this issue because I've got my own opinion on this issue, and I'm very disappointed, Ace, because I thought you were decisive leadership also, but I'm very disappointed because once again you guys are just showing that you are very weak. Okay, so there's a lot of things that went wrong. I get the fact that maybe there were certain processes that should have been followed in order to get the permission to actually fly out. But guys, government is the ruling party. The ruling party in South Africa is the African National Congress. So if there's a matter that has to be addressed in Zimbabwe, it's going to be represented from the African National Congress, the ruling party, the government. You understand what I'm trying to say? It's not going to be the DA. It's not going to be Musi. It's not going to be the EFF. It's going to be the government, being the ruling party, going to meet on state affairs. So I don't personally see the big hoo-ha. Of course, there were certain people who were not officials in the sense that you're not the minister and whatever the case may be, but everybody who was on everybody who was on the plane, including Tony Yengeni, is actually an NEC member. NEC is the highest lawmaking body of the ANC, the highest decision body of the ANC, the NEC. So these are people that are leaders of the ruling party being the government of the South Africa. When we voted, they got the majority. Do you understand what I'm trying to get to? So we're not going to be sending EFF. We're not going to be sending DA. We're going to be sending the ruling party to go represent the interests of our country, to go and negotiate and go hear what's been happening. So I personally, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, and I could be wrong, but I don't get it. I don't see the big hoo-ha, and I don't see why are we making so much noise. You see, if somebody's telling me, they were going and they went to the president's party or something like that, I'd understand why we're upset. But guys, we all know what's been happening in Zimbabwe. And South Africa was being victimized and labeled all sorts of things for not intervening, for not going and actually being vocal and speaking to and showing that they have an interest in what's happening in a neighboring country right next to our border. You know what I mean? So we share a border with Zimbabwe. So guys, honestly speaking, cut it. And ANC, stop being so apologetic. You're supposed to have your meetings internally, discuss these matters, and come out with one statement. You can't be having your president of the ANC and the president of the country coming out with a statement saying they must account, as if you didn't know that trip was happening. You cannot have that. It looks like you guys don't know where you're going. And then the whole SG of the ANC is on that plane, but the president saying he doesn't know. Honestly, guys, you weak shame. You guys are not leading. You are not leading, honestly speaking. You're everywhere, you're haphazard, and honestly speaking, be decisive, release your statements, and stop being so freaking apologetic about everything. There's no need to be apologetic about this matter. You are on business of the state. You are doing business of the state. You are intervening in a country right next to our border for the benefits of South Africans. Because if you don't intervene there and there's more instability in Zimbabwe, we have more and more Zimbabweans crossing the border, jumping the fence, cutting and coming into South Africa. You understand? So it affects us as South Africans on a daily. So honestly, stop being so apologetic and stop being so indecisive. And honestly, can you just employ a PR specialist? Please, you need a PR specialist. You need somebody that you're going to consult with because you guys are everywhere. Honestly, everywhere.